Hey, Steve Stine from Guitar Zoom here. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the third video in a series of 3 videos where we've been talking about dissecting some of the elements of a song that I did a while back called To Sing a Lullaby by a band called Stine, which was myself and Steve Grimmett from Grim Reaper, the singer from Grim Reaper. And this song was written to celebrate the birth of my daughter, Imogen. So I wrote it on acoustic, and it's got a bunch of different creative elements in it, and that's why I thought it'd be fun to talk about with you. And this is all just to celebrate the release of Play Acoustic Now 2.0, which is a course I did that really gets into the creative aspects of playing acoustic guitar, and of course fundamentals and all that stuff. So if you haven't seen the first 2 videos, I'd suggest you go back and watch those to kind of see all of the different things that we've been talking about in terms of chord embellishments and moving open chords around the fretboard and kind of the construct of this song that I wrote to sing a lullaby. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the melodic theme of the song. So when the song begins, it starts with this thing that goes like this. And of course, it's single notes. And I always like to combine chords and, single notes and different things like that together all in one element because I think it's important. It just shows creativity and it sounds good for the listener. So when the song begins, it starts with this single note thing. And you can see what I'm doing there is I'm just outlining an A major arpeggio with some notes around it. And then what I do is I move to the D, okay, which is the 4 chord, A, B, C, D. And then I play the D, and then I start that theme again, but I just end it there. And then that's what leads into the rest of the song. So we're going to break that down a little bit, but understand that if you know anything about your scales and things like that, not only can you play the chords and all these various things that I've done with the song, obviously not all the chords fit into the key of A. I'm doing all kinds of different things here. But it's also nice to be able to visualize things like arpeggios or scales and things like that you can kind of play, okay, as a theme or a melody or something like that within the context of your song as well. So if we look at this, what I'm doing is really just taking this D shape here, and I'm moving all the way up here, so that D begins to sound like an A chord, a couple octaves higher, but that's an A chord, so I'm playing 9, 10, 9. Okay, so after I play this 0, what I'm doing is I'm sliding from 7 to 9 on the 3rd string, and then going to the 10. So there's the bottom of that arpeggio. You see that? But then what I do is jump up to the octave of that note right there, which is E. Okay, so I have. And then I'm going to roll down this arpeggio, pull off here from 10 to 9. So I have. And then here, I'm playing that D, and then I'm going to start that 7 to 9 slide again to kind of reinforce that theme. But then I just end with that. And that's what leads into the first video we did. And in the second video, of course, we looked at the movements of chords. And again, coming back with that chordal idea over E. So using embellishments over open chords and then learning how to move open chords up and down the fretboard in various different ways to create a more unique sounding song. And that's what I want you to be thinking about, okay? So in this one, again, if you haven't really done single note picking before, it takes a little while to get used to it. And I'm really not going to go into which downs you should play or which ups, because it all depends on what feels comfortable for you. The beginning of this song, that intro theme, really isn't very fast. It's just utilizing some notes that are picked and then some notes that are what we call slurred, which is using hammer-ons or pull-offs or slides even, whatever it might be. And I love to use little elements of all of those. So I'm not necessarily ever really picking everything all the time or slurring everything all the time. It's always elements of hammer-ons, pull-off slides, along with picking elements as I play. Adding a little vibrato always helps. And notice how I can let those two notes ring out, right? The open D and the 10th fret here, that A. Notice how that A is ringing out the whole time as well. Okay. And then at different points in time in the song, of course, I know at the end, for instance, picking through picking through the chords in different places, stuff like that. So learning how to combine all of those elements together. So even if you just took a piece of paper and you wrote down some of these things like simple chord embellishments, which is the adding or subtracting of fingers on your fretboard, right? Moving open chords around, adding single note picking, all of these different kinds of things, creating a melody, different things like that, and trying to explore those. Using major and minor, I use the D major and the D minor in the same song right after each other, very much a kind of Beatles technique that I learned from learning certain Beatles songs. And I'm sure there's a million other people out there that do it as well. A lot of this stuff comes from 70s sort of folk music at the time that I was learning as well, just because I always thought the chord progressions were just, some of that stuff was just so amazing in terms of acoustic guitar playing. So do me a favor, if this is something you think you might be interested in, you can always click on the link somewhere around here to learn more about Play Acoustic Now 2.0 and see if it's something you might be interested in. And if not, it's cool. Use the videos and see what you can do to kind of elevate your playing and keep having fun. That's what this is all about. So do me a favor and stay positive, keep practicing, and just keep enjoying what it is that you're doing. So I'll talk to you soon.